Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we will talk about the materials we can use in fused deposition modeling or FDM 3D printing. So we all know that FDM 3D printing is the most common type of 3D printer, and you can find this type of 3D printers in every workshop, every colleges and every industry because it has a low cost, because it is less expensive and a user friendly 3D printer. So in this video we will talk about what are the different materials we can use in FDM 3D printing. We all know the materials we use in 3D printing, we called it filament. So in FDM 3D printing basically 1.75 mm diameter of filament or 2.75 mm of diameter of filament. So the first material we will talk about is PLA. PLA is the most common materials which is used in FDM type of 3D printing. The full form of PLA is polylactic acid, and it's more commonly known as PLA. It is the most widely used 3D printing filament because it is so easy to print. You can print anything very easily by using PLA. This plastic is made from vegetable starches, so it is a plant based. It means it is biodegradable. It is not harmful for our environment, and it can melt at low temperatures. If we talk about the melting point of PLA, or if you talk about the temperature in which 3D printing takes place, it is around 118 to 210 degrees C, so it can work at low temperatures as well. Now these materials come in a wide range of colors. There are plenty of colors are there if you talk about the PLA materials, which makes it ideal for prototyping or applications where the aesthetics of the object is paramount. PLA is available in soft and hard forms both. Okay, so plastic made from PLA are accepted to dominate the 3D printing industry in the coming years. Already it is dominating the 3D printing industry. In coming years, the demand will increase. As we discussed about soft and hard PLA, so the hard PLA is stronger, it is much stronger than soft PLA, and therefore ideal material for broader range of products. So if you want to make a product which can be usable, so we will use hard PLA because it has a high strength. 80% of the FDM 3D printers we use PLA materials. So this is very important material, or everyone who has a knowledge about 3D printing must have heard about PLA. Now the next material is ABS. After the PLA, ABS is very common in FDM type of 3D printing. This plastic is highly used at all professional levels due to its physical properties, being one of the most resistant 3D printing materials due to its high impact resistance and very good tolerance to high temperatures. ABS is very highly resistant material. It has a good physical properties and high impact resistance, or it works at higher temperatures as well. So if we need good strength materials as compared to PLA, we use ABS materials. In terms of when you talk about the chemical resistance, so ABS is affected by various solvents and acids. Its chemical resistance is less, so however it is disadvantage, but we use it as an advantage so it allows polishing the surface of the part with an acetone vapor bath, giving it smooth and shiny finishes. So we use it as our advantages as well. To print this material correctly, it is necessary to have a closed printer to maintain the heat during the manufacturing processes. In PLA type 3D printer, in FDM 3D printer, if we are using PLA, there is no mandatory that it should be closed 3D printer, but for ABS it should be closed printer, so there will be no heat leakage. And another thing which we need to understand about ABS type of material is that preheating of bed is also required. The full form of ABS is acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, and ABS is also available in various colors that make the material suitable for products like you can make stickers and toys. Increasingly popular among craftspeople, ABS is also used to make jewelry. After the ABS, the third one is PETG. PETG is another popular material which are using in 3D printing, and it is also widely used in 3D printing industry. And if you talk about the strength of this PETG, so PETG is stronger than PLA but less stronger than ABS. So it is intermediate between PLA and ABS. This plastic has good mechanical strength, somewhat lower than ABS, but greater than PLA, but good chemical resistance in addition to being easy to print. So chemical resistance is high. When we talk about ABS, the chemical resistance is less, but PETG overcome this drawback of ABS. It has a high chemical resistance and is also easy to print. Some applications for PETG are manufacturing of impact resistance parts. If we want to make impact resistance parts, we can absorb the shock, then PETG is a good choice. Decorative objects and food packaging, we also use PETG, making it the most versatile 3D printer material available. So it is the most versatile 3D printing material that is available because it has a intermediate properties. Now the next is TPU. TPU, it is one of the most popular flexible material in the world of 3D printing. If we need the flexible material, then TPU is best. It is the most popular flexible material in 3D printing. Thermoplastic polyurethane. It is resistant to friction and wear also, which makes it easy and interesting material to make coatings or protections. As it has a high friction and wear resistance, so we can use this material for coatings and protections as well. You can find TPU in different degree of hardnesses. The TPU materials has a different degree of hardnesses. The most rigid ones being the easiest to print. So the TPU which is more rigid, it is easy to print. Consequently, the best advice when printing this material is to print at low speeds. Whenever you use TPU as a filament, then you should have a low speed of your 3D printer, as it will prevent the filament from deforming and jamming. So this is how it looks like. You can see this screen. Now next is PVA. PVA is a very interesting material as it has a different qualities. It is using as a support material. With the emergence of multi-material printing system for 3D printers, support materials emerged. So this is a support material. PVA or polyvinyl alcohol is a soluble support material ideal for printing parts with complex geometries that make it difficult to extract support structures printed with the same materials. So whenever we need to require complex geometries, we need to make a product which is very complex and it is very difficult to extract the support, then we use PVA as it is a soluble, and PVA is a water soluble and obtain a better surface finish on the contact surface of the support. So once your product will be completed, you can dip into this your product into the water, and the PVA we use as a support material will automatically remove as it is a water soluble, and you can find a perfect surface finish. We advise you to store this material in dry and hermetically sealed place so that it is always dry and ready to use. This material is water soluble, so it is necessary to place this material into sealed areas so there will be no contact of moisture to this material. The next is PP polypropylene. So polypropylene is a filament widely used in the industrial sector for the manufacturing of functional parts due to its resistance to impact and abrasion, but above all for its excellent resistance to chemicals. So this is a material we are using in industrial sectors because it has a high resistance of impact and abrasion and a good resistance to the chemicals. In addition, this material is very light and relatively flexible, so it can be used to create protective elements that are in contact with the skin, such as your helmets and face shields. So you can make face shields helmets also because it has a very light material and flexible and good impact and abrasion resistance. Polypropylene is a difficult 3D printer material to print because of its high warping. It has a warping issue, so it is difficult to print these filaments. We need to have a closed printer and a warm environment to avoid warping and to make use of brim edge in the addition settings to the printing surfaces. Now the next is nylon. We also called it polyamide. With its strength and flexibility, polyamide allows for high levels of details on 3D printed product. This material is specifically suited for joining pieces and interlocking parts in 3D printed models. Polyamide is used to print everything from fasteners to handles to toy cars and figures because it has a good strength and flexibility. So we are using nylon as a filament as well. Next is composite materials. We know composite. What is composite? There is nothing like composite material when we use multiple materials, multiple filaments, and by adding multiple materials we enhance our material properties. Then we call this material is composite materials. So some materials are born from the mixture of several polymers to obtain a better physical properties, such as tough PLA. When we talk about tough PLA, so tough PLA is union of PLA and ABS, so giving it greater impact resistance than PLA, but retaining its ease to be printed. So whenever we mix two or more different type of materials or metals, we make a material that has a good properties. We called it composite material. So many of these materials are based on PLA and can be found mixed with wood particles. We are using PLA as our base materials, and we are using different powders or particles to make this composite material. So we can mix wood particles to PLA, we can mix clays, metals, and when we mix this to PLA, materials will the properties will enhance, and the range of materials, increasing the range of materials that can be 3D printed. Now the fiber filled materials. As we all know that 3D printing has been adopted by industries as well. So in industries we need a material which has good mechanical strength, good chemical strength, good impact strength. So fiber filled materials are great for those properties. As the need arises, as we need a good mechanical properties material, so fiber filled materials are good for that. There is a need of this type of material, so resulting in the birth of materials with loads of glass and carbon fibers. So these materials has been now very popular, which is made by glass and carbon fibers. After the metals, these type of materials for 3D printers is one of the most resistant materials. As polypropylene, also known as PP, adding with glass fiber, has the high chemical resistance of polypropylene, but with a mechanical strength highly enhanced by glass fibers. Again, high temperature polyimide with carbon fiber is a material that combines the high temperature tolerances of polyimide with astronomical mechanical strength. And if we include polyethylene terephthalate with carbon fiber, PET with carbon fiber is a material positioned between the good properties of PP and glass fiber and PETG and carbon fiber, offering good thermal, mechanical and chemical resistances. So again, fiber filled materials are also using as a filament in FDM 3D printing. So now the next is metal. So we all know about the metals. Metals are the most important higher strength material apart from all the materials. So you would wonder that how FDM 3D printers can print the metals, but here we are not using purely metals, but we use metal powders and binders, and we bind together and make a filament, wire filament, and we are using for that the melting point is about 515 degrees C. So but it has a similar or more or less similar strength as a metal. So like copper alloys, aluminum alloys materials. So these are type of metals we are using in FDM 3D printing. So along with the fiber based materials, metals have been another of the industrial sector's main attractions, and 3D printing with FDM technology has been able to adopt to them. These type of materials for 3D printers are composed of high degree of metal powders and a part of binder materials with bind powders together. In order to manufacture functional parts with these materials, it is necessary to go through a process of removing the binder material and sintering after the printing the part. So once you completed your 3D printing, you have completed your metal project, you have to remove the binders so metal will be there. So you need to post processing after your completion of your product. So once the part has been synthesized, you can perform post processing tasks such as polishing, milling, threading, turning, welding, among others. So you can do post processing after completion of your product as per your requirements. So these are the all materials we have been using in 3D printing. We have covered almost all the materials which has been using in FDM 3D printing. So I hope you have the very fair idea about what type of materials we should use in what type of application in FDM 3D printing. And if you want to learn 3D printing from start to finish, here you can join this full course. The link is in description box. You can find the more detail about the full course. This is at very minimal cost. So, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe this channel so you will get the more notifications for more videos as we are working on the 3D printing technology. And frequently I upload the various videos about the various aspects of 3D printing. So thank you.